Hello, everyone. So excited to be here with you for another Cosmic Tea Time chat. If you don't already know, my name is Caitlin. I'm a psychic moon mentor, and I help spiritual individuals lean into their passion and make money doing what they love. And I'm excited to be here today with Tanis, who's a beautiful light leader, light worker that connected with a few years now, a couple of years, few years, I
Mhm.
think.
Yep.
First through
Yep.
Emily Aarons. Yeah. And then we've just grown our relationship from there. But we're going to talk about abundance today, and more specifically, the power of surrender in that acceptance of abundance. But before we do, Tan, would you be so kind as to introduce yourself and tell people a little bit about you?
Sure. So my name is Tanis Legary, and I've been an intuitive light worker for over 30 years, and the modalities and the essence of who I am has evolved so much. So yes, I'm a Reiki master. I have a lot of different tools under my belt, but I feel in this that I am just more than just one thing. And I think that's what this is all about, is creating this essence within myself. And so for myself, I started a podcast about a year ago, is going to be my 1 year anniversary. It's called Spiritual Sparkle. And so, and it's really exciting because I'm an international makeup artist and I have spirituality. So the podcast is about bringing in your inner beauty and also outer beauty and the spirituality and intertwining it together. And that's kind of how it came about. It's called Amplify the Consciousness. And it's interesting because I don't know about you, but social media is talking about amplifying this, amplifying that. I'm just like, wow. So I'm really grateful for that piece. So yeah, so having some unique things under my belt, I'm really, really happy to be here, and I'm excited to share our conversation today.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much for being here. And if you don't already have it, I saw Tan has it over there. You can grab your tea, grab your coffee, favorite beverage, whatever you have, grab it and join the conversation. Whether you're catching the replay, comment along with us in the chat and in the comments. Um, so I noticed, now remind me, was it the end of 2023 or was it the beginning of this year when multiple like abundance
Oh,
just started? It felt like it was like flowing in. I was watching from afar and I was like, damn, good,
yeah.
you go, girl.
I actually have full body chills just from what you just said there. I have no idea, but I'm just like, it's full on spiritual chills. So yes, I thought about it. 2023, I had some tough times with some friends, had to let go. And really, I had a soul sister that was so close to me, and then she ghosted me. And she had taken some different spiritual courses, and she said that she leveled up into a different level. And so, we all are peeling off the onion layers, right? So when that happened, I took it as a death, right? And so I've had to kind of regain what, and I always ask myself, was it me? Was it me? But I'm like, no. So 2024 is a year for me to surrender to the universe and accept and know and trust that when we meet, there's a reason and there's a purpose. And, I think of it as like we're in this elevator, and you can be on ground level or you can be on like the top level. And I mean, who doesn't want to be on the top level? I know I do. So 2024, for it started right on New Year's Eve. To be honest, I actually
Yeah, right
went
as the
to
new year. Okay.
right
Yeah.
on the new year. Yeah. And it was interesting because I was at a special function where my husband works actually, and we had like a dinner dance. They had these social like these prizes, and I saw this one thing, and I put my name in it, and I knew in that minute I was gonna like win that prize. And so later on, I didn't have my ticket on me, but I memorized my number, and I was talking to a couple people around that area. And I said, "Oh, who won that prize?" And then I looked down, boom, and I remembered that number. And I was like, "Oh, it was me." And it in that moment, it was like, wow factor came through me, because I'm just like, allowing and manifesting and creating and having that intuition has honestly giving me so much like grace and honor, and that's kind of where it started. And then when you get into that acceptance of things, and I joined like this spiritual group where I've been doing like in tuning with light language and alchemy and quantum healing, and so these are the pieces of this puzzle that I'm kind of getting to. It's like these little fractals of myself are implementing into my heart. And so it's like when this happens, it's like, okay, what is next to come? And I over the holidays, my name was chosen for a $200 gift package, which had, it was like our spiritual of like full on candles. It had like crystal pendulum and a crystal like pendant, along with a journal book with our oracle cards. And it just went on and on. And I'm just like, I remember in my vehicle opening this up, and I'm just like, what? Like, this is amazing. And I mean, anyone that's into this kind of stuff with crystals, and then she even did like a special like energy clearing for me, and then she gifted me some other things, and she's like, wow, like she said you're on fire. And I'm just like, okay, you take this in and you listen to it and you embrace it, right? And so, and then that's like one thing that happened. And then again, we are part of like Emily Aarons, and I think we both had some different opportunities to get a couple of really cool things from her over the years. And she did a personalized, customized reading for me. And it was neat because she said to me, she's like, you're going through this pivot, and I see that you're doing the work and it shines. And she even at the end said, thank you for being a part of her team and membership, even though I'm kind of behind the sidelines because there's a lot going on with things. But if we put ourselves out there in small little like increments, that's when other people notice, but maybe we don't notice. And I think that's the thing of being authentic within myself, is when you stay authentic and have that open mindedness, that's when this co-creation comes into fruition. And so I know for you, I was entered into a couple of things and I won twice, and I was so grateful.
Yeah,
And it
I know.
was a
I was like, yeah,
beautiful,
go
yeah.
girl.
And I mean, that was just recently where I had an amazing reading from you. It all connected of the pieces of that. And I was just like, whoa. And you did like some beautiful tarot card, and like there was like an amazing it was, I think, if I'm not mistaken, it was an oracle card, but it was like the picture was like a divine into the universe and connection. And then that's what's happening, is where I'm seeing and I'm hearing these results of things that are actually happening in the cosmic connection. So that's like my next level. Like I've DNA like leveled up, and that's what I'm so proud of. And I've started doing light language, and I'm just like, what? Like this is
Yeah, it's
like a
amazing.
whole,
So much is rolling in.
yeah,
Yeah, you've had it sounds like that. I don't know if you would call it an ego death, but certainly some loss and some grieving that you had to
yeah,
process. And then you had to lean into it, right? Before all this abundance could roll in at the beginning of
yeah,
2024, which is a year of abundance, the 8 year, right? Numerology, for those of you who don't know, if we add all the digits up of 2024, we get the number 8: abundance, intuition, strength, confidence, power, right? Like, I think that connects to our divine will and our divine purpose as well. For me, it does, the number 8. And so all these giveaways rolled in. Yes, Tan took the, initiative and took some action and entered some of those things.
yeah,
And yeah, I remember I led the Lunar Abundance in my group, Moon Manifesting Lunar
mhm,
Abundance, in December. She won 2 of like the 6 giveaways that I was giving out for that month. So many amazing things, right? But I want to tap into surrender a little bit, because for me and my clients, right, who want to manifest more abundance, who want to step into their purpose and authenticity, which I hear you going into, but I want to take it back for a moment into some of that surrender and what it looks like. Because I don't know about you, but I connect with a lot of type A personalities. They are go-getters. They're not afraid of hard work. They're ready to climb the ladder, right? And they find me because of the burden and stress and the overbalance of that divine masculine and going, right? And so I think we can find surrender in loss sometimes of like sort of, acceptance of something that's coming in, right? As I say that, I think that ties into surrender a little bit, but tell us a little bit about how you identify with surrender and what that means to you.
I know every single day I'm at a point where I do the spiritual hygiene. And when I do that, it sets the tone for myself on a daily practice. And I think that's what everyone needs to know. When you get into the alignment within your own soul and your own power, and asking for, the guidance of your spirit team, and asking for the angels to kind of step in and your powerhouse. And I know I've got this powerhouse of pillars surrounding me. And now it's getting into that cosmic energy and the galactic energy. And I think that's the piece where I've surrendered to this. And I know there's always a little bit of that ego fear that wants to always like jump in the monkey mind, but you just have to push that away and let that go. And I think that's what I've done, is just like putting the blessings in every single day and understanding that if you do the work, it will reward you. And that means, taking in the energy of your family and friends and your animals and doing the meditations, doing the breath work, going outside, grounding yourself. And I know I have such an amazing team of like-minded friends, and I'm so blessed to have that in my life because it gives me that support system. And I think unity and community is going to be our reward to everyone that is listening to this, because I know that once I started this journey, and it's almost like a rebirth for myself. And I actually just thought about that this week, where I've been doing energy work for over 30 years. Nobody knew what Reiki was back then. And I'm just like thinking to myself, yes, I do the energy work. But if you really tap into your own intuition and bringing in that no fear judgment, that's when you see results. And that's what's happened to me. And I know I have this vision where I see myself on stage, and I've been talking about this for a very long time. And I'm shy. I have a lot of insecurities. I know I'm not perfect, and I'm human, but at the same time, if I can actually get my spirit and show people that I am that authentic person, that's the practice that I feel that everyone needs to really like lean into your own soul. And my death of my father gave me that hope. And I know over 2 years now, and it's coming up, his anniversary is July. And those dates and numbers are very significant to me, July 14th specifically. And I mean, the numbers I see, when you're looking at your cell phone, or if you're driving, and like there's a lot of different numbers that are kind of reaching out to me again. And so it's almost like, okay, I'm prepping myself. And we've talked in the past about dimes and animals and spirit animals and things like that. And the other day I was driving about a month ago, and I saw a wolf on the side of the perimeter, and I'm just like, what? So that's for me, that gives me that hope. And I think that's what it is when you get into the practice of hope and sharing your story of empowering and helping. And the reason why I started sharing this is with you, because I put in to register for it, and it's a stepping stone for me. This is what this is. I am TEDx Winnipeg, where I'm from, Winnipeg, Central Canada, and they're coming to Winnipeg. And so I actually applied to be their makeup artist backstage. I got accepted. And so I thought to myself, this is the first step to get into that, connecting with people that have their story that they are sharing live on stage. But it's like that one step to like, hey, what can I do? So I'm just going to be me and be authentic and like share my story as I'm doing their makeup. But at the same time, maybe there's something I can learn from them. And then see for next year or somewhere else in this world, do what needs to be done to get the word out.
Yeah, beautiful. Yeah, I was just thinking back to surrender and one of my clients recently who was a little bit newer to the manifestation game, right? And so one of the patterns and behaviors I saw in her that's the opposite of surrender, right, would be something like, so she had a goal in mind. She wanted a certain outcome, right? And so she took one step to do it and she made some calls, voicing her opinion, what she wanted to happen. It wasn't possible. And so instead of surrendering to that, instead of, going, okay, I did what I could. Now I'm going to focus my attention on me somehow in another positive way at first, right? Instead of doing that, she called again and again and again and again, asking the same thing over and over and over and over again, trying to force, which to her, right, new to manifestation, you don't always put those pieces together. Again, type A, driven personality. I'm going to force, I'm going to will it. I can do it. I can do it all on my own, right? Which there are some strengths and okay qualities in there. And there is so much power in surrendering and trusting and leaning into faith, saying like,
Mhm.
okay, yes, I took some practical action. Okay. And for whatever reason, outside of my logical mind that my logical mind can understand, okay, it's not meant to be right now. It's not coming together exactly right now. But I have to surrender that. And sometimes we have to surrender or let go, like you mentioned a few moments ago,
Yep.
right? And sort of let go of
Yep.
what I think is best. And like
Yeah.
Tana's mentioned a couple times, right? And open. Can I sort of open? And so that's a good way to think of surrender too,
Yeah.
as like, okay, I'm laying down something, right? I'm letting it go. I'm laying it down, but as a means to open for something better, open for what I want or something better. So
Yeah.
with that, and that's happened to me before too, with you mentioned a friend at the end of the year and kind of losing connection, but they stopped communicating. And so, of course, like just the human in all of us, I think we're like, why? What happened? Like, I don't understand. Did
Yeah.
I do something? Like, ugh.
Yeah.
And a lot of the emotions that go into that, right? What was that process like for you to start to surrender like some of that?
So, when someone passes, I took it like a death and you have all those emotions. And that's what happened for me. One day I was happy, one day I was sad, and one day, I just had to like release and not worry. And I realized, I kept on thinking, overthinking, thinking, what could I have done different? And I realized there is nothing in this world that one can do because everyone has their own story, everyone has their own path. And I just kept practicing the will of like talking to creator divine source every day and just like, please show me what is next. And it's like the one door closes, the one door opens. And look at like, I know that when we do this spiritual work and allowing us to heal, and I think that's what it was for me, is healing my soul and really letting go of knowing that maybe that person was never really, it's not they weren't meant for me, but they were just meant for me in that time. And now I've like moved into this wave of life and just like that golden path. And and it's interesting because I know I helped her. I was her very first person that she did energy work on after she learned Reiki. And so I gave her that hope. And I know I did good, and I know that it's okay for this new friendships to come in, but also the friendship within myself and connecting to my higher self and leaning into, okay, it's okay just to be in that moment and be
That's what I was
present.
about to say. That's what I hear you saying of like surrendering to the present and the present moment. And initially, when we have like a loss, right, like we are talking about your example here today, there are all sorts of feelings that come in. So, can I surrender myself to that? Can I surrender my attention to that? Can I acknowledge that? Right. And
Yeah.
so many individuals that find me, right, have these stuck emotions and these pain points and these things that are growing in their physical body because they don't create that time and space for that to feel, to be present, which is okay, right? And
Yeah.
very possible to sort of, like you said at the end there, just sort of like let it be, acknowledge. And a lot of the work that I do with people is reminding them that when you can do that, when you can come into the present and just acknowledge, often is all we have to do, then we can flow out of it. We're not going to get stuck in the emotion. But again, a piece of that is letting go of trying to think and intellectualize and conceptualize everything. And so you talked a bit about surrendering to spirit and talking to creator and source, like, okay, show me, lead me, guide me. So talk to me a little bit about that, right? So you went through some grieving, and then we're able to get to a place after feeling those things to, okay, something else is coming in. There's a space here now. Talk to me a little bit about that surrender and then starting to co-create and work with spirit.
So it's interesting that you say that. Um, okay, it's my dreams actually is what has started this. So when I surrendered and going into this state of consciousness of where I'm doing meditations and then I get these messages that are coming through. So that's the piece that I've actually noticed the change within myself. And then it's almost like when I go into like this beautiful essence, like this Milky Way energy, and the colors are purple and green. And I think that's what's helping me get into my next level of communication. I mean, I'm a makeup artist, so I see and feel lots of things, but colors and being empathetic. And I think that's going to be my new DNA upgrade, is just surrendering to myself and having that mirror reflection. So I know in the past, like they say, you are who you are on the people that you hang out with. So I just realized that I guess that person was not my mere reflection anymore. And we've just changed. And so I think the dream state, the meditation, and the knowing and the consciousness and working with higher self more is going to give myself that piece of enlightenment. And I know and trusting that. And I'm saying a lot of positive things, and it's not always easy. And I do have tough days too. And I guess I have to appreciate the light and the dark, and balance the yin and yang of that. And I think that's what my journey is understanding that you have to have a bit of dark to appreciate the light, and you can peek through that, open those doors, and then see the magic as you open those doors. And that's where I think the level of the elevator, your different levels of that elevator, and then once you open the door of that high consciousness of high vibe state, every single day get into that purification of alignment. And I think that's what's giving me that daily practice of just knowing that I got this.
Yeah, and we are, recording here on the equinox, the spring equinox here in the northern hemisphere, and Ostera, right? So today, and for anyone watching this, no matter what time, no matter what day, year, etc., maybe this is a message and a reminder for you to detox, to clear, to purify your energy, to purify your relationships, like Tan is talking a lot about, right? Even though yes, we have that love and that support inside community, sometimes we outgrow and we don't even know it, especially those of us who are hypersensitive and really loving and empathic, will tend to stay a lot longer in a relationship that probably isn't of our highest good, probably doesn't align with our goals, right? So maybe you've already started seeing some of this, in your physical surroundings, and it's just let it be a reminder, right? And there's a hawk that just landed.
No, really? Oh my
Just
God.
now, yeah, just swooped in and is on the light post.
See? There you go. That's our
You know,
answer.
right? Yeah, just surrender to that and let yourself focus on purifying yourself, purifying your energy, mind, body, spirit. Reach out to Tan, get in her community. Let's start listening to her podcast and connecting to some of her community members. Reach out to her for a session or work, or, if you feel called to me and lunar abundance and, alchemizing your emotions and emotional state to manifest, let's do a moon session, whatever that is for you. But let it be a sign and a reminder to clear, detoxify, and purify, right? Because on the equinox, we are at this beautiful in-between state where we have this balance, right? Like Tan was mentioning, of this darkness and this light. And, we tend to talk a lot more about positivity, but
Mhm.
trust that Tan and I have gone through some dark nights of the soul. We've gone through some
Yeah.
pain and some hurt and some anguish. And that darkness, so often with us and other light leaders that I know, that is our fuel. That is also why we're so gifted, because we
Yeah.
understand the dark very intimately. And out of that, we choose. We choose the light. We actively choose the light. We choose to heal ourselves. We choose to step up and lead others who, want to be in a better place, want to accept more abundance. Um,
Love that.
so beautiful. Yeah. So, Annie, I love that hawk came. I was like, oh my gosh.
I
Okay.
know, and I have tears in my eyes as you're talking. So it just, I mean, I think that just shows the integrity of what this conversation is. And I really hope that we do make a difference in what we do on our next steps moving forward for 2024. And I just want to show you, I actually picked a card. It's empathetic or empathetic starseed, energetic sovereignty, absorbing what's not yours. And I think that's what it is. It's the boundaries. So the surrendering is remembering the boundaries of what it is, and we don't own it. We just, it's their story.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Try to surrender that other people's junk, surrender, detox, purify. Um, and then, I think Tan and I will connect again and we're going to chat more about signs from spirit. I know we've talked about in the past,
Mhm.
and really aligning, like we've shared a little bit with today, right? With
Yeah.
aligning with abundance and starting to just witness and actually experience it flowing in. So make sure to follow Tan, make sure to follow me, get inside
Yeah.
my group, Moon Manifesting Lunar Abundance, if you're not already there. And any last bits, any last pieces you want to share, Tan?
I just feel that we're on the right path, and I'm excited for what newness is going to happen for yourself and for myself. And, I would love, you've been on Spiritual Sparkle as a spotlight guest, and I would love for you to jump on again and you can share your beautiful moon insights. And I know I'm a true believer working with the moon, full moon and new moon, but I really appreciate you for everything that you've done for me.
Yeah, beautiful. Thank you. Thanks so much. It was lovely to chat with you today. I know this is
Thank you.
one of many conversations that we'll continue having.
Thank you.
Beautiful. Happy moon manifesting,
Hey,
everyone.
bye. Thank you.